Hey Gauchos, welcome to this week's episode of Gaucho TV. I'm Marv, and we're kicking it off this week with the top 5. This week's top 5 Mother's Day gifts. Now Mother's Day is this weekend, which means if you haven't already got your gift and you're watching this video, might be too late, but for future reference. Or you might be able to get a few things in the top 3 and kind of slide them in at the last minute. Okay, number 5, knickknacks. This is a safe bet, something smaller than a bread box, a little thing, music box, snow globe, if she collects something like that. Something she can put out on the counter, and even if she doesn't like it, she can hide it when you're not there and nobody's feelings are hurt. Okay, number 4, spa day. Moms love this kind of thing. Gift certificate for a manicure, pedicure, something to pamper her with. It's easy, find a spa that's, reasonably reputable. Might want to check Yelp for that. If she doesn't have a regular spa she goes to. Number 3, brunch. Always a safe bet. Restaurant where you pay too much for small portions of bland food, but it's really fancy. She'll dig it. And load her up on mimosas. Moms love that kind of thing, and then she'll tell you all kinds of secrets about your dad that you didn't want to know. At least that's what experience has shown me. Anyway, number 2, candy. Box chocolates, another safe bet. Can't really go wrong with this. And number 1, flowers. Obviously, the Mother's Day gift, hands down, that's just what you get. Great thing is tons of websites, you can get plenty of deals. I found it's, knocked the price down for 100 blooms for mom for $19.99. That's great. By the time all was said and done, it was still $50 with everything shipped and a vase and everything. But, you're spending between $35 and $50. That seems about right, particularly for something you don't have to hand deliver yourself. Because for me, the cost of the plane ticket would be a whole lot more. Things to avoid for Mother's Day. Jewelry and clothing. Why jewelry? Well, unless she has specifically pointed something out, odds are you'll pick something she doesn't like and she's going to be like, oh, it's too pretty to wear, I don't want to lose it. That's just her nice way of saying she doesn't like it. With clothing, if it's fitted clothing, you get something that's too small for her, she puts it on, she feels fat, you lose, everyone's got hurt feelings. She puts it on, you get it, and it's too big on her, she thinks you think she's fat. It's a lose-lose proposition. Just avoid clothing altogether. Unless she's said, this is my size and this is what I want, at which point, go for it, and then she'll pretend to be surprised. Either way, everyone's okay. All right? That's it for this top 5, and now more Gaucho TV. All right, Gauchos, this week we are having our first episode of You Bought What? Look at that graphic. That is something else. I got the idea from watching the news because, in case you missed it, a painting Picasso did in 1964 called Nude, Green Leaves, and Bust just sold at Christie's for $106.5 million. The actual sale price was somewhere closer to $95 million, and then the sales fees, the money Christie's makes on it, is another easy $10 million on top of that. So, good day to work at Christie's, I guess. Now, someone went out and bought this painting. Here's what the painting looks like. You can see it's a nice painting. Is it $106 million nice? Who knows? It was a telephone bidder who won it, by the way. But in other news of huge prices going for things that seem totally improbable, the Mullen Automotive Museum in Oxnard, California, just bought a 1936 Bugatti 57 SC Atlantic. Now, they paid about 30 million British pounds for it. I got this news from The Sun, so I had to do the conversion myself. It's $45 million. It was a California company that bought it, so presumably they spent American money. It seems unlikely they would have used British pounds. So there's only 2 complete original Bugatti 57 SC Atlantics in existence anymore, and the other one is owned by Ralph Lauren of the polo with the cologne and the shirts with the guys doing the thing. Yeah. So it seems totally reasonable. I mean, you can see the Bugatti here. It's a beautiful car, Deco era. Looks pretty 1936-y. Wouldn't want to be in a side collision in it. It's not much in the way of side stability, and the doors on it are a touch thin. Not really something you want to be T-boned in, but a beautiful car. And again, it seems totally reasonable because one of the most expensive current production cars that are street legal is the Bugatti Veyron. It's the Veyron 16.4, and it's $1.7 million. You can see it here. $1.7 million from the factory. There's about 200 of them on the road, and there's a dealership up in Dallas. So the next time I'm up there, I'm totally going to stop in, drop off my Mazda, and see if they'll let me take a test drive. Now, the Veyron made Top Gear's Car of the Year. They say it's one of the greatest pieces of automotive engineering in our lifetimes. It's a pretty amazing car. The little-known ugly secret is, of course, the Bugatti brand was purchased by the Volkswagen Group, same people who make Audis and Volkswagens and some parts for some Lamborghinis even. It's amazing. It's a pretty incredible car. But $1.7 million for a car. That's more than I would spend on a house. Anyway, and finally, in other You Bought What news, HP purchased Palm. Hewlett-Packard, which is the company that makes the computers and some scanners and has their logo on a whole bunch of stuff, purchased Palm, who you know from the Palm Pre and the Palm Pixie, for $1.2 billion with a B dollars. Now, Palm's really well-regarded web OS that was on the Palm Pre was a technology that HP was trying to get their hands on. Even though the Pre did not sell very well in light of the monolithic iPhone, of course, you know, everyone wants to get in the smartphone market, but the Pre didn't do so well, what with continuing surging iPhone sales. And then Google's Android came out and kind of squashed all of the Palm Pre's excitement. But it does send a clear signal that HP probably going to enter the smartphone market using Palm's technology. Possibility of some HP branded phones. Is this something you think you'd buy? If you've ever had an HP computer, would you consider buying an HP phone? I don't know. That's such an odd thing to think of. And it also creates the possibility that HP could be using that technology on a iPad competitor, a tablet computer of some kind, because obviously that technology that Palm is using for the Pre is good for that as well, just going to upscale the same way the iPhone OS was upscaled to run to the iPad. So I think what it means is how huge must the smartphone market be that someone bought the company that is in a distant third place, and that was for over $1 billion. What does that say about the smartphone market for the top two? For your Androids and your Motorola's, maybe not so much, and your iPhones, it certainly leads you to think. So that's this week's episode of You Bought What. If you've got a You Bought What, put it in the Gaucho forums, or send me a message on Gaucho, sign up for Gaucho, or you can follow me, Gaucho Marv, on Twitter at this address. And if you have any questions or comments or things you want me to cover in future episodes, I'd be happy to do that as well. In the meantime, that's it for this week's episode of Gaucho TV. Have a good one. See you next time.